So let's discuss about the N+1 query problem in Spring Data JPA. So that problem arises when we are trying to fetch that nested entities of main entity. So what Spring will do, it will not creating the joins by default. It is just trying to fetch the main entity, then it will firing that queries, nested queries to get that objects. So so to create this scenarios, let's see my sample application. This is the component of my sample application. So my first component is the parent pom.xml. So here I'm using the Spring 3.5.11 version, and these are the dependencies. I'm using Java version 17, and these are the main dependencies I'm using. And let's see that application.yaml file. Here I just mentioned that connection configurations, and I have these many entities: customer address, inventory, order items, and orders. So I just created one repository and one service method. In repository, I just trying to find all the entities of the customer, and this is my endpoint. So let's see the use case. So I'm just autoing this custom repository. In here, let's try one try catch. Okay. So here I just let me create one list of the customer. In customer repository, I am just trying to find all, and let's access that customer address. Customer dot string dot for each customer. In this, I'm just trying to fetch that customer address. String dot for each. I'm just printing that customer address. So if you see, I am using the lazy loading, fetch type lazy. So what it will do, whenever this lines of code will run, so it internally Spring will fire the queries of that in that address table, customer address table, and let's see how the behavior is like. So I'm just starting my server. So if you see 1791 millisecond it will take, and let's see the queries. There is a huge number of queries is fired by Spring Data JPA. So let's decode the queries. So first is the main query of the customer table, and the second one is then it is just taking the customer ID and pass it into the address table and fire these many queries. So this is the main problem. So instead of that, we need to force that Spring to use joins, but not this behavior. So the first way is to use that to resolve this issue is to use a native query. So we are not going to discuss this native query because this is very common solution. So we are going with the Spring Data JPA standards, which is a production standards, and this is very commonly asked in the interviews. So let's see how we will implement this entity graphs. I'm stopping my server. I'm just implementing this annotated with entity graph. In this, I just need to add the attributes. In this, I'm just passing this customer addresses. That's it. With this line, Spring will understand that, okay, I need to create the join for this customer addresses. Let's see how it will work. 1791 millisecond. Now let's check what is that. So now if you see, the performance is increased. Now 516 millisecond. And let's see how much. Now if you see, only single query is fired with that left join of the address table. So this is how we will use that entity graphs to fetch the nested entities. If I want to fetch that order table as well, let's see, orders. I just need to append the string, add the one more string into this array, string array, and let's see how it will work. Before that, I need to just access this customer dot get orders dot streams dot for each dot orders. I just simply getting the order date. My server is started. Just accessing that. Now it is taking 661 millisecond. And let's see how the query is formed. Now query is, it is added one more left join for the order table. So this is how we will resolve this issue into that Spring JPA standard way. So let's discuss about another way, it's not another way, but enhanced way of entity graph. So we can use that named entity graph to get more flexibility. To do that, I need to add that annotation at the class level, at the entity level. Let's see how we can use this in this name entity graph. I need to add just name. Let's see customer dot with address. And in here, I just need to add the attributes, array, I just need to add the node. Into node, I just need to add this one. What is the node name of my child entity? I just simply need to pass it here. Double brackets. Okay. Now, by using that name, I just need to add this into my repository. So now, if you see here, into value, let me pass this. So now we have the flexibility to use this name at anywhere at any repository. So now it is not as only the repository dependent. Now it is just we have added the functionality into the class level. So let's restart the server. Okay, now I'm trying to fetch that data. Before that, I just need to comment this thing and restart this because I have not added this one. To get the proper behavior, I need to add. Currently, I just need to see this one, the address. Okay, let's see how much queries. Okay, so if you see here, this is the same like the left. It is just added the left join at the address table, and how much second it is just taking that 525 millisecond. So this is how we will increase the performance of our Spring Boot microservice. And let's see another scenario. We can also add multiple graphs to, suppose I am just adding the order table as well. So let's see how we will do this. To do that, I just need to add this graphs. So we can add the multiple graphs. Into that, I just need to add this one, that single graph. And this, let me copy this one. Comma. Let me add this another. Okay. What graph? One graph I added here with address, and mm, with address, and I need to add another one, address and orders. In attribute, let me add one more named this node for the orders. Why this is compiling level? Remove this one. So if we see, I have added two named graph. One is fetching with address, another one is fetching address and orders. So we can use that multiple graphs, we can implement multiple graphs into that single entity. Let me access this. Suppose I'm accessing this one with address and orders. Let's see how the behavior is like. You see, just paste the name at here and into service class, I just implement this get errors line and let's restart the server. Let me hit that. Okay, now it is taking 645 millisecond and it is added this left join for the orders table. So this is how we will use this multiple named graphs, entity graphs at the class level. This is providing much more flexibility so that we can use these names at any repository and we will get our desired results. So this is for the today's tutorial, and this is the one way how we will use that entity graphs to resolve our N+1 query problem. And this is a Spring Data JPA standards. So that's it for today. Thank you for the watching.